Greetings and welcome to the Geekend Live here on the Geekend, where we make Star Wars content, Marvel, and more in the form of interviews, trivia, parody, even documentaries and live streams just like this one. Usually every Thursday. We're also doing a Bad Batch special weekly stream on Monday at the moment. I'll talk more about that later on, but welcome wherever you are on this football around type that we call planet Earth. I'm Jamie Stangroom, and in this week's alleged entertainment, let me tell you what we've got coming up. Where are my notes? And I will tell you what we have coming up. So we're going to talk a little bit about Kenobi. We talk about Kenobi a lot because I can't really elevate it to the status of the gift that keeps on giving, but little tidbits, little scraps are getting thrown out to us. Nothing official yet, apart from the fact it's happening. But probably sounded like I was getting quite emotional there. Just something happened in my throat. I'm not emotional, not yet. But, you know, these streams, they can go on a while and emotions can run high. But yeah, Ewan McGregor's been doing some promotion. And of course, it's the question that's been following him around for years now. Will there be more Kenobi? He doesn't have to lie about it anymore, but now he can't really talk about it. But anything he says will turn into a show. Like this stream is pretty much built around a couple of throwaway comments that he made to Jimmy Kimmel, which, by the way, I have a connection to. I think I have a connection to. I have a connection, I think, to the interview that Ewan McGregor did with Jimmy Kimmel, an interview that's been doing the rounds in terms of in the Star Wars fandom online. So I will explain that later, why I think I might have a connection to that Jimmy Kimmel, Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi interview. Also, as you've seen in the thumbnail, Rey, is she returning? Now, I've seen a message in the chat. I'll come over to the chat in a second, where I was told that this might be a Mike Zero rumor. Now, where I read it. Mike Zero, as far as I know, doesn't write articles. He wasn't credited in the article that I read. It could very much well be a Mike Zero rumor. You know, what rumor isn't a Mike Zero rumor? You know, he's come up with them all, hasn't he? So I don't know if it is originally from Mike Zero, or if it's a rumor that he's jumped on. But anyway, it's been written about, and I don't believe it, but I think there could be some truth to it. So we'll talk about that. Is Rey going to return? And also the Venom 2 trailer, Let There Be Carnage. And I like Carnage. That came out on Monday. And yeah, it didn't show us a whole lot, but it was quite an interesting Easter egg, which I didn't spot, that's been noticed. So we're going to talk about that. And let me know what you think about the film. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing it in a cinema, in an actual theater. To be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing any film in a cinema at the moment. And a couple of extra little bonus stories as well, which we'll come on to in a moment. But let's just pop over to the chat to say hello. So yeah, this was Lucas. Hello, Lucas. I know you sent this a while ago, so I don't know if you're still here, but I'm not basing this rumor on, or I'm not crediting it to Mike Zero. To be honest, I don't think it's crazy enough to be a Mike Zero rumor, but we'll see. We'll come on to it later. David, hello to you, my friend. Glenn, the geeky hippie, is here. Morning, afternoon, evening, all from Glenn. Who else? Who else is here? Peter's here. Good evening to you, Peters. And Anders as well. I've been saying Sanely Red for so long, Anders. It's really confusing when I see your profile picture and your actual name above it. So I'm just getting used to transitioning from not saying Sanely Red anymore into saying Anders Labour. Hello there to you. Hello there to Clay. Clay's the first through there. He got in there first. Who else? Richard, welcome. David Milano is in the house as well. I'm not less hairy. I'm more damp than hairy. I got soaked on the way out to the shed. It's pouring out there. But I don't know when the last time you were on a stream. You were on a stream recently, Peter. I've had my hair cut like this now for about 3 weeks, maybe. I think Sige is in the house. Going to talk about Sige later as well. Yes, Sige, we're going to talk about you later. Who else is here? Daniel's here as well. Daniel Rigger, all the way from Canada. And Simon D. Welcome back, Simon D. Is it pronounced? Okay, thank you for schooling me. After all this time, it was easier when it was saying red, to be honest. But Anders, I'm going to get used to that, okay? I just got used to saying Anders Lay instead of saying red, and now you're giving me another one to get used to. So Anders, that makes sense. Anders Lay. I'm going to do it. Right, okay. So we will come back to the chat. As always, this is a conversation. I'd like to think this is we all know each other pretty much, and if you are new here, we will know you too as well. And it's a conversation. It's a very much an interactive stream. So we don't have Chad here to keep time on us. So Chad, the stopwatch Campbell, usually is here to try and bring me in 30 minutes. Never happens. He's not even here. So who knows? I hope you've packed an overnight bag, because this could go on for days, this stream. Right, a couple of bonus stories that caught my eye. Warner Brothers might be phasing out physical DVDs, Blu-rays. They might not be getting physical, which will really upset Dua Lipa, I imagine. But animation historian Jerry Beck claims that Warner Brothers is gearing up to transition away from the physical media business. I mean, it's probably something that's going to happen eventually anyway. Obviously, VHS transitioned into DVD. Are DVDs going to transition into another physical form, or is it all going to be online? Is it all going to be things that we can't touch anymore, things that aren't physical? Is it all going to be streaming? So I know Simon's in the chat, and I imagine Simon is not going to give up on his physical copies of movies, but maybe it's something that's eventually going to be forced upon you, Simon. I don't know how you guys would feel about that. I'm not a reader. I've mentioned this before, but I know a lot of avid readers who refuse to transition into Kindle reading. They like to feel the books, they like to turn the pages and all that. So I know for some people this might be quite a big deal. For me, don't care. I don't have a TV. I haven't owned a TV since I'm going to say 10 years. Everything's on my laptop, and my laptop can't play DVDs. So I'm just so used to that now. So used to that. So for me, it's not a problem, but I imagine for some people, it's going to be a problem. If Chad was here, I know it would be a problem because, well, saying that, Chad's not even moved on from VHS. Chad is obsessed with VHSs, and quite right so. I'd probably go back to my VHS days if I could. But my laptop, last time I checked, does not take VHSs either. So I am going to move on from that. But it'd be good to know what you guys think. And another quick little extra story that just caught my eye just before coming on, because this only got posted a couple of hours ago, and it looks pretty cool. So as we're in nostalgia mode right now, we're going to talk about future stuff in a moment. But this is a bit of future nostalgia for you, because Kevin Smith's eagerly anticipated Masters of the Universe series for Netflix. We've got a first look at it. I mean, it is a first look. That's what Entertainment Weekly is saying, and they often get the scoops. They often have the rights to the first look at these big projects, and it looks beautiful. They're all stills. I haven't seen I saw this just before coming on air. I'm so old school. Yet don't have a TV, but I don't think there's any clips or trailers. But these images, these stills, it looks beautiful. And there's some nice quotes from Kevin Smith as well. Here's one of them. I'll scroll down a bit more so you can see another image. Everything I've ever worked on in like 27 years, this is easily in the top 5 of my favorite, most satisfying projects, says Smith, a He-Man superfan who showruns Revelations. It's called Revelation, and it's a sequel. Where was the other quote? I enjoyed this. Yeah, when I died, I'll be like, he made Clerks, remember? Because that's the most memorable thing I think I've ever done. I'd agree with that. I think this has a running shot at being like, he made Clerks and that one cartoon that one time. So, yeah, you know, Kevin Smith is the ultimate professional fanboy. And I feel like this is in totally safe hands with him. And there's some great voices, actors who've lent their voices to the project as well. So He-Man is voiced by Chris Wood. Mark Hamill is Skeletor. So, yeah, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? And apparently it's split into 2 parts with 5 episodes making up part 1, and they're premiering on Netflix this July 23rd. So I am looking forward to that. And here's some more of the actors involved as well. But yeah, it's a sequel series. And that was a nice little surprise before coming on air. I think that's it for the pictures. But if you go on the Entertainment Weekly website, you can see them all without my bad zooming skills and dodgy internet, probably showing it to you all blurry. But yeah, anyway, a couple of bonus stories. So let's get into the main stories, and then I will come back to the chat. Because as you know, this is always about the chat. And I think that's why it ends up being like an hour or more sometimes, this show, because of you. It's all your fault. People blame me. They accuse me of being the rambler. I think it's you guys in the chat triggering the rambles. Okay, so what were the main stories? They want a thumbnail that I made. Oh, yes. Okay, so first of all, let's do the Venom trailer, and then we'll go into the Star Wars stories. Makes sense, I reckon. Do the Star Wars stories back to back. So who saw the Venom 2 trailer? Where's the... I'm not going to play it because, like, do it yourself. Do I have to do everything for you? Also, I got in trouble, YouTube trouble, when I played a trailer recently with the volume off. They still detected me. And it wasn't even a Disney. It wasn't a Marvel or Star Wars thing. It wasn't a Disney property. I think it was Godzilla Kong. Anyway, the trailer doesn't show much. There's not much carnage in the trailer, but I enjoyed it. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm just, just easily pleased at the moment at the idea of, because this is only, as things stand, only in theaters. It's not being released, on a streaming platform at the same time. So I know I've just been saying how much my life is streamed these days. I do miss going to the theater, to the cinema. I do miss that. And obviously that's not been a thing for us for a long time. And this film has been delayed by a year for pandemic-y reasons. So it's going to be... I'm glad they're sticking to theaters only. I think it's not coming out till like October. So by then, hopefully we'll be in a much, much better place. I mean, the cinemas are opening here in the UK on Monday, actually. But I'm sure there'll definitely be, there's masks from next week, and also social distancing. So it won't be obviously full capacities, but I guess by October, things could be very different to what they're going to be like here, at least next week. So who knows? This could be the first real return to normality, this film in the cinema. I'm speaking from a UK perspective here. I know it's different in other countries around the world. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the trailer. There was an interesting Easter egg. Now, I didn't spot this. Like, I guess it's some people's, people who do like breakdown videos, Easter egg videos. This is what they do. They must like just freeze frame every frame. They freeze every frame of trailers just to spot anything, don't they? And somebody spotted this. There's Stephen Graham, who I imagine will not have a Scouse accent in this film, but he's playing Detective Mulligan and can be seen reading the Daily Bugle. And within its pages, a headline seems to name-check the MCU supergroup. By that, I mean, I think they mean the Avengers. Engers. And you can just about see Nightmare there. And Lose as well. The word lose, they reckon. Avengers lose. And then Nightmare is in the line below. And as they've said in the Independent article here, not words you'd associate with good news. Now, of course, we don't know. We don't know that it says Avengers. It might say Passengers. It might say Wambengers. There are other Engers options, but I guess it's more likely to be Avengers. So is that just... it's going to connect to something. If it is an Avengers Easter egg there, it is going to connect to something. It always does, doesn't it? But anyway, I enjoyed the trailer. Again, doesn't show too much of the carnage that the title promises, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this film, and I'm trying to find a release date. And this is like the busiest website I've ever seen. Like, I'm going to give up on this website. All right, so couple of Star Wars stories, and then I'll come over to the chat. So what I'm doing these days is I'm through the stories one by one because I had a few comments, and this is fair enough. You know, people watching on the replay. By the way, hello, future. If you're watching in the future, hello to you. I've had a few comments from people saying the streams are really long. Can you clip out, you know, the main bits and release them separately? And I would like to do that one day, but this isn't a streaming channel. And at the moment, the streams are like quite poor quality in terms of the camera and the presenter as well. So, and the internet that I'm using at the minute. So I would do that and will do that, but when it's a better thing. But also, I don't want it to become a streaming channel. You know, I prefer making, you know, more polished, edited videos, of which I'm working hard on at the moment. I realize actually there's not been that many recently since Lightspeed Tonight came out. But anyway, so what I'm doing for anyone watching the future, I'm doing all the stories back to back and then coming over to the chat afterwards. All right, so let's do Daisy Ridley and then we'll do Kenobi, and I will tell you why I think I might have influenced the Jimmy Kimmel Ewan McGregor interview where they discussed Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, I've just got to add another screen. So this is the controversial one in the chat where I might be promoting a dodgy rumor. It's a dodgy rumor for sure, but if it's come from Mike Zero or not, I don't know. I just don't know. But I realize I've done something very controversial here. I realize this is probably controversial in its nature anyway, because not everybody wants to see sequel trilogy characters back again. So movieweb.com. Is Daisy Ridley returning as Rey Skywalker in a new Star Wars movie? A new rumor suggests that Daisy Ridley is in negotiations to return as Rey in a future Star Wars project. Now, Mike Zero's not, he's not credited. This isn't crazy enough for Mike Zero, right? He's not credited in this article. Maybe it came from him and they've not credited him. Maybe he's jumped on it since. I don't know. But anyway, the article is discussing this rumor that's come from somewhere that Daisy Ridley is in negotiations with Disney, with Lucasfilm, to return to play Rey. Now, there is not much substance to this, you know. There's no quotes that I can see in the article, you know, from unnamed sources or what have you. So, you know, we are in the age where anybody can say anything and it automatically becomes a rumor. You know, we all have sources these days. I don't, you know, unless it's of the brown or the tomato variety or the Worcestershire variety as well. The brown sauce is HP sauce, by the way, which I guess in America, if you're watching the States and you don't know HP brown sauce, I know you Aussies know it. It's kind of like barbecue sauce, I guess. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. although it's possibly more interesting. So I do think there's an element of truth to this. I don't necessarily believe whoever's started the rumor is coming from a truthful place, although they could well be. I'm not branding them a liar, but I do think they will return to the sequel, some of the sequel characters at some point. I'm not sure if, I think actually maybe we will get a sequel trilogy to the sequel trilogy one day. Like, I think at least 10 years away, because don't forget, I like the sequels. There's some great Star Wars moments in the sequels. There were also a lot of missed opportunities in the sequels. There were many things I didn't like about the sequels, but overall, I was happy with them. But there were people who loved the sequels. And also, there were kids who the sequels were their introduction to Star Wars. So a little bit like now, the prequel kids are of age, if you like, and the prequels sort of, I guess in a way, there's a lot more kindness and enthusiasm towards the sequels these days, and part of that is, I think some people them less flack and have warmed towards them over time who didn't like them maybe back in the day, but the people that loved them back in the day are now grown up and they are the kind of, maybe the loudest voice in the Star Wars community. So, that's going to happen with the sequels. Eventually, you're going to have another generation of Star Wars fans who grew up with Rey, Finn, and Poe and what have you. So, I think there could be another trilogy one day, but this is talking about something quite soon. This article that's based on someone's dream, and what it does say here is that it's quite likely that she could be, and it could be to voice Rey in a video game or an animated series. So they mentioned droids, a droid's tale here, which I don't know if we know that much about. I think R2-D2 and C-3PO are like the hosts, aren't they? Or we follow them on various adventures. So BB-8 might show up at some point. Maybe Rey's with him. Maybe Poe is too. Although I think Oscar Isaac probably wouldn't voice Poe. I think he's been a little bit more I'm done for now. Boyega has been on that kind of tune as well. But Daisy Ridley's been like, I don't think she's ever ruled herself out. So I think, Daisy Ridley probably will show up as Rey in some form. Could just be her voice. And it might not even be it might not be in a film, it might not be in one of the series. I mean, all of the series we've got coming out live action wise, I don't think that they would work, would they, with the timeline of the Force Awakens onwards. But I think she could well be voicing, perhaps. And one day I think we'll see those characters back in full film force, pun intended. But also we don't know much about Taika's film. The news came to us via Giant Freaking Robot. There you go. Take that, Mike Zero. You've got competition. All right. So, not much to that, really. But, we've got to make a show out of something, haven't we? Now, this is more interesting. This is a little bit more solid. We have a source. And that source is Ewan McGregor, who is not like barbecue sauce, as far as I know. So, how do I stop? Share screen. I'm sure if you've been online this week much, you've seen that Ewan McGregor has done an interview with Jimmy Kimmel in the States. And he said a few things that have got tongues wagging. Because like I said earlier, we are living off tidbits at the moment. There's been very little official stuff out of Disney in terms of this series, Lucasfilm. So really tidbits. And you poor Ewan McGregor, wherever he goes, he's always going to be asked about this. So there's only so much he's been able to say for years. He admitted to lying for years about returning, and even now he's got to remain pretty tight-lipped. But he said a few things. One of which is actually not so much what he said, but the way he looks. Let's have a look at the way he looks. Can you see? No. Don't know if you can see that, but he's filming at the moment in LA. that's what he looks like. So obviously he's going to go into makeup every morning, and I'm guessing they're not adding to his beard. They could be, they could be adding some fake hair to his real hair. They could, they could be putting a wig on him. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. I was kind of imagining, more of a sort of Tom Hanks kind of Castaway vibes for how we would see Obi-Wan in this series. But looking at Ewan there, he's living his best life on Tatooine, looking very sharp. But then again, Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan beard wasn't particularly long, and his hair was pretty well kept. So obviously, he's got a good barber out there on Tatooine. So of course, when he goes in to shoot each day, he can be transformed. But I guess we can presume that is Obi-Wan for this series in terms of beard length and hair length. Who knows? But he did hint to not wearing the last outfit we see him in, I guess, in Revenge of the Sith, which, all these years later, it's probably good that he's not still wearing the same clothes. But apparently it's going to be a slightly different style. Now, I started to think maybe he needs to be. Obi-Wan obviously is trying to keep a low profile, although this series is probably not good for his endeavors to keep a low profile, because no doubt he's going to get in some trouble, because if not, it'll be quite a boring series. So I suppose I was thinking anyway that it would make sense that he's not in his Jedi robes. But then again, Alec Guinness Obi-Wan's pretty much robed up, Jedi style-y, isn't he? So I don't know what this new style is, but that'll be interesting. I don't think it'll be long before we'll get an official picture of Ewan McGregor in costume on set, maybe, because it's the way things are these days. If they don't do it, someone else is going to do it. And you'd like to think that they'd like to get the first picture out there, high res, no pixels, and they take all the glory, aka the likes. But also he said, and this is what most people have been talking about, I think this is one of his quotes, and this is not connected to me, although, is it? I got to play a very special scene on the 4th of May with someone very special in my life. And that's all I can tell you about it. But it was great fun. Now, I am just going to clarify again that this is not the connection to me. It would be awesome, but it's not. Or is it? I started to feel like, hang on a second, is this another Paul Bettany in WandaVision, where he hinted along these lines of someone amazing that he got to work with, and people were thinking it was Benedict Cumberbatch, perhaps. But no, it was himself as White Vision. But Ewan McGregor has worked with himself in clone form, hasn't he? In The Island. So that rules that one out. I don't know much about Ewan McGregor's personal life. Has he got a kid who's in acting now? Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, the connection to me, right, is a different article, but taken from the same interview. Now, I say the connection to me, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I inspired the interview. Because this is enemy.com. And this article, these websites are busy, man. Ewan McGregor remembers Noel Gallagher lightsaber battle at 30th birthday party. But I don't remember too much instruction. So Noel Gallagher of the band Oasis had a lightsaber duel with Ewan McGregor. And actually, this was before Ewan McGregor started shooting for The Phantom Menace, but he'd been cast. And Noel Gallagher essentially gave Obi-Wan Kenobi his first lightsaber training session. And Noel Gallagher's spoken about this. Jimmy Kimmel reminded McGregor of the claim on Jimmy Kimmel Live yesterday, May the 10th, ahead of his return as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a new Star Wars series on Disney+. Yes, we know all that. This is Jimmy Kimmel. Noel Gallagher of the band Oasis claims he said this in an interview that he did your first lightsaber training with you. Is there any truth to that? Kimmel asked McGregor. The actor replied, well, it was Noel Gallagher's 30th birthday and he lived quite close to me in London, North London, and I was at his party and then there was a lightsaber fight in his garden very early the next day in the morning. But I don't remember too much instruction. I don't remember like any lessons being given by Noel. It was just more of a battle in the garden. Now, and Kimmel jokingly asked, and who won the battle? To which McGregor said, I would be surprised if either of us could remember that. Now, I'm sure all sorts of things were involved in that battle. They wouldn't have got away with it in the Olympics. Doping control would have been all over that bad boy lightsaber duel. Now, the connection to me, maybe connection to me. The quote from Jimmy Kimmel here, Noel Gallagher of the band Oasis claims he said this in an interview. That interview was with me. I'm pretty sure. Well, I know I did an interview with him where we spoke about this, and I will show you the interview. Hang on a second. It's a written interview. It's a print interview. But this wasn't something that hang on a second. This wasn't something that came up during our chat together, me and Noel. You know, this was something I researched. There's me, on the Star Wars website a long time ago, January 22nd, 2018. Now, I think Ewan McGregor actually talked about it on the Graham Norton show. I don't remember there being like much out there about Noel Gallagher and Ewan McGregor having a lightsaber fight, right? But I think there was a Ewan McGregor interview on the Graham Norton show, a video clip on YouTube where he said, we had loads of friends there, and Noel Gallagher was there, and we messed around with lightsabers, but it was part of another story. But I brought it up with Noel, and we can probably find a bit here. What I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure, 99.9% sure, the first time Noel Gallagher ever spoke about it publicly was to me in this very interview. Now, me is StarWars.com, by the way. I don't get my actual name in the interview, but it's there, top right, the old hair. There you go. Okay, where's the question? Sorry, I should have probably teed this up beforehand. By the way, not Noel Gallagher's only Star Wars connection. Do you remember that amazing Adidas Star Wars advert back in the day? David Beckham was in it, Snoop Dogg was in it, Ian Brown was in it. There was all sorts of Daft Punk were in it. Noel Gallagher was in it as well. So that's his, other Star Wars connection. But he's a big Star Wars fan, not like, hardcore. He doesn't know many of the, niche character names, if you like, but he does love it. He does love it. And maybe if I keep stalling, eventually I'll get to the bit that I am looking for. I can't find it, but it definitely happened. All right. Hang on, people. Okay, I found it. All right. StarWars.com, me. Which brings me on to something quite important, because many people out there believe that Yoda and maybe Qui-Gon Jinn trained a certain Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I've heard rumors that it was actually you. Noel Gallagher laughs. He laughed so hard. He didn't. You've heard that story then? I have indeed, or I should say at least Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. I don't know. Doesn't make sense the way I read that or said it out loud. Okay, so Noel Gallagher says, so there was a party around at my house in the 90s and Ewan came. This all fits. And he just got the part for Star Wars. And I was like, no way. I happen to have 2 lightsabers in the house. So I said, right then in the back garden and show us your skills. So was that, So was that might have been... Blimey! Look at this. So was that might have been his first lightsaber fight. I mean, that's kind of how I speak, but it shouldn't be written like that. So was that might. So was that might. Anyway, he said, and his last, he was schooled. So, yeah, again, pretty sure Noel Gallagher hadn't that story to anybody else. Jimmy Kimmel was referring to Noel Gallagher saying this in an interview. Again, I think the only interview he's given about that, certainly up until I did it, there was no one before. So I think I kind of influenced that interview between Jimmy Kimmel and Ewan McGregor. Who knew, hey? I mean, I can't say for definite, but I'm pretty sure. All right, then I'm coming over to the chat. All right, hello, everybody. What's going on? Is anyone still here? I've just been rambling for half an hour. But as Clays has pointed out, there is no timekeeper tonight. Simon D. Red Letter Media's fake comedy predictions are more likely to happen than anything Zero comes up with. Chad was here, apparently. Anders. See, I'm learning fast. Anders' mum is from Sweden, and she moved to America with my dad before Anders was born. Right. First of all, we talked about the move from physical to digital. Apparently, Warner are poised. Peter, don't remember when I bought my last DVD. All is digital now. I have some CDs. I've definitely got CDs somewhere still and mini discs, but I don't use them. I don't know where they are either, but I've definitely got them somewhere still. Glenn's given up on Warner Brothers. But have you given up on DVDs? He loves his digital stuff, but still likes to have some hard copies. Jane Flakes, I love my DVD Blu-ray collection. I think streaming alone is daft. I collect for damn things. Yeah, there is that, you know. There's certain DVD box sets that I would never throw away. I've still got a Star Wars Special Edition VHS box set, which I would never throw away because they are, you know, pieces of history in my life. So I get it from a nostalgic point of view. Sidge, I'm pretty gutted about physical media dropping. I love it. Massive nostalgia. However, I find myself using it less and less. Yeah, nostalgia as well. I'm with you on that. But again, I've using it less and less. For me, using it zero for years now. David Milano. I wonder if that means they're going to shut down Warner Archives, POD as well. That'd be a huge bummer for collectors, especially for rare movies. Yeah. I didn't go through the whole article, but that was on MovieWeb. Ryan Scott wrote it, and it's based on claims from animation historian Jerry Beck. So you don't have to go on MovieWeb. I imagine you'll find the original source. So I don't know how much detail there is, but I mean, it's something that's going to happen. But then surely there's a place for archives of sorts. And there's always going to be a place to service collectors, isn't there? James Flakes, Kindle is great for disabled people like myself, but it is different to my DVDs. Glenn still has his VHS of The Phantom Menace. Watched it so many times. Yeah, Kevin has been teasing the Masters of the Universe for like evs. Do you know what, Anders? I almost said Anders. Anders, I have I have a VHS copy of Return of the Jedi. And that's from my big bro. My big bro was like a kid when Return of the Jedi came out. And yeah, I stole it from him. But I think the first ones I purchased, like I said, was I probably didn't purchase myself. My pocket money was the special edition VHS trilogy. Right, Simon. I thought you'd have something to say about this. Streaming means you never actually own the product, and they can always remove anything they want. I suppose it's like renting movies, but I think it will just make torrenting more of a thing. Yeah, I've said this in recent weeks. You know, there's so many streaming platforms now, isn't there? And as far as I know, there's no way of having like paying one fee and having access to them all. So it is crazy the amount of different subscriptions you got to sign up for. So yeah, I guess it will in a way maybe encourage more torrenting and all that. But yeah, no, it's true. You never own a product. It's like with YouTube, you know, you put all your videos on YouTube, and some people, you know, have their livelihoods on YouTube, their business, if you like. Someone can pull the plug out on YouTube, and that's it. You know, so there obviously is that. There's no security with the streaming, of course. Sige, I knew nothing about Masters of the Universe. Very exciting, as close to a decent Conan cartoon as I think we'll get. Do you mean? I thought you might have been into Masters of the Universe, or did you mean you didn't know about the Kevin Smith sequel, or is this like the first you've heard of such a thing in general? Richard, it's amazing how much animation has evolved over the decades. Yeah, even over the series in the Clone Wars. As I learned very recently, the improvements as that series goes on are incredible. But yeah, Masters of the Universe looks beautiful. Beautiful. Right. I'm working my way through the chat. Sorry, hang on. I've lost it. I've lost the chat. It like just refreshed on me. Sorry, everybody. I know I've been a bit all over the place tonight, but it means a longer stream, hey? Right, I think we're into Venom territory now. No, we're still with Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe. I say Masters normally, so I don't know why I said Masters. I like seeing Mark Hamill being more involved in so many new and current shows. Yeah, and I imagine Kevin Smith likes working that closely with Mark Hamill as well. Amazing voice actor, Mark Hamill, isn't he? You know, so many people will only know him as Luke Skywalker, but an incredible voice acting career as well. Simon D, on the physical versus digital front, I think the physical media market is still too big. Vinyl records made a comeback and CDs are still a thing. So I think I'll continue with film collector labels. Yeah, that's a good point about vinyl. You know, we had the annual record store day, which I think is a global thing. That's not just in the UK, is it? And yeah, record sales of vinyl records have been record sales over the recent years. So yeah, I suppose it will never die. It will never die, really. But then again, it may just become an archive thing. You know, if film companies stop, you know, releasing new releases in the physical form. Under's been watching Invincible. Pretty cool to hear Mark Hamill in an animated show again. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Masters of the Universe. Oh, Anders, thank you as well. Anders sent me a link to a new Star Wars fan series. Hang on a second. Bucketheads, yeah? Bucketheads. I haven't watched it yet, but I had a quick glance. I haven't watched it properly yet. I had a quick glance, and it looks awesome. Star Wars Bucketheads, Season 1, Episode 1, Ground Zero. So type in Star Wars Bucketheads Ground Zero. It will come up. It's a fan series about stormtroopers, eh? Looks cool. Thank you for sending that my way, and I will be checking it out over the weekend. Sige, on Venom. I've not seen the first Venom movie. I love the comics in the late 90s. This looks good, though. Richard also thought the trailer looked good. Pretty cool, to be precise. David, I think we're on Venom here. It looks to me like it will be incredibly similar to the first movie. Cool with a lack of depth. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with a lack of depth right now. I think I just want to get back in the cinema in a kind of normal way. Not like right now. I realize we're not there yet, but I think it's an October release, and I feel like that could be the return to some sort of normal. Yeah. But yeah, cool with a lack of depth. That's fine by me. Right. This is Glenn on the trailer. Watched the trailer and it did nothing for me. And Carnage didn't even look that good to me. Loved the Maximum Carnage mini series when it was coming out ages ago. Yeah, Stephen Graham. That was Stephen Graham. It was not Ricky Gervais as David Brent. Right, I'm working my way through. Sorry, I've seen Arsene Wenger's name in the chat. I don't know why. Arsenal manager, for anyone who's wondering. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Yeah, no, it did, but it did say. Hang on a second. I'm going back to the article. No, that's the wrong article. Wrong article. So many articles. So many articles. So little time. Yeah, Detective Mulligan, who Stephen Graham plays, he shows up a couple of times in the trailer, so there probably is something in that. I imagine Andy Serkis didn't say that he might become Toxin, right? That's a fan theory, I'm guessing. Sige is in for some Toxin. Right, Gaz Nottingham's here. I am defo in the camp where I want to see more movies with Rey, Finn, Poe, etc. So this is the maybe Daisy Ridley in negotiations to return as Rey. A very, very saucy rumor. David Milano. Cinematic Studios, hello, mate. Good to see you back. Glenn, the geeky hippie, wants to see Rey training Finn, but that won't happen. I don't think I don't think I can talk. I don't think Boyega will be willing to come back. I don't think now. I mean, I'm sure Daisy Ridley's busy, but John Boyega seems very busy, and he's got his own production company, and I think he's got a lot of fingers in different pies, and I don't think this is very high up on his agenda right now, and I don't think you can really blame him for that either. But I think one day, 10 years time. But I think there's probably something in Daisy Ridley doing something with Rey again. But I think it would be more voicing, for a one-off episode in that Droid animated series, maybe, or for a video game or something. I don't think we're going to get any cinematic Rey or live-action Rey in general for a long, long time. Hey, Peter. Don't be so mean about English sources. HB sauce is beautiful. Hey, Worcester sauce, man. Worcester sauce. Or English sauce if you're in Mexico. I love it. I won't have a bad word said about English sauces. Right. Frogger, got nothing against Daisy Ridley. Seemed to be a nice person in interviews. Don't care for Rey to return unless she actually gets some proper character development when she comes back. Yeah, I think there's a lot they can do with Rey still. Obviously, the longer they leave it, then the less she'll be in her prime, I suppose, and it'll be more focus on her training somebody else, younger, presumably, not Finn by that point. But yeah, I agree that Daisy Ridley does seem like a nice person. Jane Flakes liked Rey as a character. I would love to see more of her. Mind you, Lego Rey is funnier. Did Daisy Ridley voice Lego Rey? Here we go. Sources. This is from David. Sources say there is a rumor that Michael Jackson is in talks with Disney to purchase the Star Wars franchise for MTV's new streaming platform. There it is. It's official. You heard it from David first, who heard it first from Mike Zero, I imagine. Right. I'm going to work my way down a bit. Hello, Skywalker Sound. Hello to you, my friend. Gaz Nottingham, 3 years ago, Kathleen Kennedy was interviewed on the Star Wars show. She stated that Lucasfilm were planning for the future after Episode 9 with our new sequel heroes. I hope this still holds up. I think it will, but in a long time. I think I don't know how much the backlash from the sequels has impacted any decision making, but something that I think has definitely impacted decision making is the success of The Mandalorian, and it's quite clear that they want to build on that. And for now, Disney Plus streaming series are where their bread is buttered. I would say anyway. What do I know? What do I know? I'm just a guy that influences Jimmy Kimmel and Ewan McGregor's conversations, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why we have this. Oh, Gimli beard. Oh, this must be Ewan McGregor. Yeah, Gimli beard would be. That's the beard we're looking for, isn't it? So we're now on Ewan McGregor in Kenobi. I think it's better when I come to the chat after each story, isn't it? Even though it annoys people watching in the future, maybe. Richard, I think the Kenobi series is going to be the best Star Wars series if they do it right. There's so much pressure on this series. There's so much that could go wrong. There's also so much that could go right. And I don't think they're ever going to please everybody with anything Star Wars related, ever. You know, and that's not just a post-Last Jedi thing. I don't think that's ever been the case, that they can please everybody with every decision that they make. And obviously with Kenobi, you're in the territory of playing with characters that we all know and love and have our own expectations for and theories for, visions for. That's why I think, you know, someone like Rian Johnson having his complete own space in Star Wars time with brand new characters could be a really interesting thing that I think more people would get behind. Like if you didn't put his name above it, I think, you know, someone who feels burnt by what he did with The Last Jedi, if they went into it not knowing it was made by him, I think they'd probably come out of it, you know, liking it, but having his name above it might, you know, stop them entering the room in the first place. But again, with Kenobi, obviously, you know, they're playing with fire a little bit. Mustafar Fire. You know, there's a lot of pressure there, but it's been a long time in the making. And obviously, wasn't it at one point meant to be a movie? Then it was meant to be a longer series. Now it's a shorter series. So they've obviously been through a lot of rewrites and a lot of development. So I'm fairly confident about it. I'm also fairly confident about this as well. Frogger, I liked Force Awakens, was very disappointed by Last Jedi and found Rise of Skywalker was edited one time too many, probably because The Last Jedi didn't do a good job setting up the finale of the trilogy. I've said this before, I like The Last Jedi. The Rise of Skywalker, I've said this before as well. I went in, I saw it later than most, and I read quite a few spoiler-free reviews, and they were all bad reviews. And I went in with so low expectations, and therefore was actually, it weren't that bad. But I agree with the pacing, you know, and the editing. And the one thing I'll say for sure is that there was a lack of a plan with the sequels. I don't know if The Last Jedi really did impact The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know if you can blame The Rise of Skywalker, the pacing, you know, the cramming of so much into one film on The Last Jedi. But I wish they just extended The Rise of Skywalker. I wish they just made a longer film. I wouldn't have minded if they just added another episode on, to be honest, if they needed more film to tell the story that they wanted to tell. But one thing that is for sure, and it's no secret, it wasn't a plan. You know, I'll defend the sequels as much as I can. Again, a lot I liked about them, but it was clear there wasn't a plan. And to be honest, it's on my channel. When I was on that press junket, I said to Rian Johnson, you know, did you have like a handover with JJ after The Force Awakens, you know, sort of passing the baton over, if you like? And he was like, no, it was pretty much like, go off and do your thing. And that's not the first time that someone involved with the films has alluded to a lack of a plan. But I think Lucasfilm would probably never admit to it, but I think they know it. And I think they've probably learned from it. And, you know, all that's going on behind the scenes at the moment with the various series that will be coming to Disney Plus, a lot of them are within the same time frame, aren't they? The same timeline. So there's going to be some sort of overlapping, and you've got to have a plan for that kind of thing. So I like to think they've got a plan, a cunning plan. Right. Sorry if I've missed anything. Yeah. It's himself. Paul Caesar Salad Bettany. You'll have to, we're not going to go into that one again if you don't know the Paul Bettany Caesar salad story. I'll tell it again one day if people want. It is on a previous stream though. But it's not, because again, in The Island he worked with himself. Anyone seen The Island? Frogger, yeah, there's no point fighting over movies. There's really no point. So I get that you don't want to. There's no point to it, man. The Attack of the Clones is the weakest prequel for me. For sure. Simon D in the chat has made a prequel edit of his own, and he sent it to me ages ago, and I haven't had a chance to watch it. Partly because of Lightspeed Tonight, right? Obviously, I need to research the prequels for that a bit, and I didn't want to watch a edit of the prequels, if you know what I mean. I needed to watch the full films from the research, and then obviously I didn't want to watch the prequels for a while because I was tired of it. But I am going to watch that finally. Very, very, very soon. Oh yeah, wow. Anders, yeah, it's Anders. I'm yes. You're right. Tomorrow is the new Bad Batch episode. Which reminds me, if anybody's still here, because I'm still catching up on the chat. Sige, by the way, claim to fame, Jamie. It's true, isn't it? It's true. I influenced that interview between Jimmy Kimmel and Ewan McGregor. So, Sige, I am now doing a Monday stream. I know this took a few people by surprise when I popped up on Monday just gone. So on a Monday, I'm going to be doing a live stream, same time as this stream, so 6 p.m. GMT, BST at the moment. And I'm going to be doing it with a guest each week, looking back at the Bad Batch episode that came out on the Friday before. Reason being, I don't think people are in as much of a hurry to watch these episodes as The Mandalorian. I actually found when I was doing The Mandalorian reviews on the same day, the edited reviews, people were coming to them days later anyway, because not everybody is like me, refreshing Disney Plus at whatever time. So I think there's no harm in waiting. Also, the big channels do their streams over the weekend, discussing and reviewing. So little old me will pop up on Monday when everyone's had more time to catch the episode and not be afraid of spoilers, because there will be spoilers. So we did the first one on Monday just gone with the Star Wars Sessions podcast guys, and it's called the Chat Batch, which Sige named. So full credit to Sige for naming the weekly series on a Monday during the Bad Batch run, the Chat Batch. And it doesn't stop there. There's been a Geeknd live collaboration. Sige named it. And David, who's in the chat, he was in the chat. I don't know if he's still here. If he's still here, David emailed me this. I wasn't expecting it. The emailed me this out of the blue. He's made a logo, a poster. You can see the logo using Sige's name there, the Chat Batch. Beautiful. I can't speak for the... I think it would be more beautiful if that clone there put on the mask. But beautiful bit of photoshopping there. So thank you very much, David, for that, a.k.a. Jones Capone on Twitch and the like. So look at that, a beautiful collaboration from the Geeknd Live there. Sige and David. So anyway, I'll be back doing that again on Monday with another guest, and I won't say who the guest is because, to be fair, it's a long old run, and I'm not really planning too far ahead at the moment because, man, this goes on till like July. But what I will say is, if this guest doesn't turn up on Monday, they'll return on another week, and there will be appearances from people that you would expect on the channel. So people who did voices in Lightspeed Tonight, for example. Right, anyway, that'll be back on Monday. Back to the chat, and I'm going to wrap up very, very soon because we've hit the hour mark, but it's all Chad's fault. It's all Chad's fault. Didn't turn up. Right. It's confirmed. David's confirmed it. Skywalker Sound has confirmed it, that I am the glue to all of Star Wars. Jar Jar's not the key to this. Jamie Stangram is. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take it, Glaze. I'm going to take it. I think it's the only interview with Noel Gallagher talking about it. He may have talked about it since, because that's what people do for interviews. You research other interviews with the person that you're interviewing. But I'm pretty sure mine was the first. San, hello, mate, and hello to Orlando, Florida. News just in, Noel Gallagher confirmed for a cameo in Kenobi series, having a fight with Obi-Wan. Mike Zero just told me. Well, confirmed. Right, I think I've caught up with the chat. No, I haven't. Crosby, hello, mate. Welcome. Simon D, in regards to the fan edit, it's okay, Jamie. At least you have the video files, so it's almost physical media. Yeah, I own until my hard drive dies, which always happens eventually. And of course, I don't double back up. I do own it. I own you. I own your cut at least. But I'm going to watch that honestly very, very soon. I've now been saying this for a while, but honestly, now you've seen Lightspeed tonight, hopefully you'll understand that I needed a break from prequel viewing of any sort. But I'm looking forward to seeing your take on the prequels. Does it make me an influencer? Woo, I'm influencing the big dogs. Hey, Jack, welcome, my friend. We are about to end. We are about to end, but welcome, my friend. Right. There's some praise for David's poster as well from Glenn and Clay's, as well as Simon. And Frogger wants me cast as a clone trooper. I'd take it. And yeah, I would bump my head, but not even on purpose. It would be a genuine accident, probably. Or put me in Andor. Andor's everywhere. I didn't want to. We had enough flaky stories to talk about tonight, so I didn't want to bring up other things like set picture leaks. But Andor's all over the UK on location at the moment. I don't know if anyone remembers my location series where they made that, which, by the way, I've still got loads I filmed, which feel like years ago, probably genuinely were years ago, when we could freely travel, that I haven't edited and put out there. But I can make an Andor one eventually. They've been in Blackpool in the north of England. I think at the moment they're down in Cornwall or Dorset, somewhere down south on the coast. We know they've been in central London at the Canary Wharf station. There was that massive one with the big green crane in that random little village that nobody's heard of until Andor showed up. And, they built a huge set that we've talked about. Oh, I can make a great video. There's no point doing it now, from a kind of speculative point of view. We may as well wait and see what makes it into the cut and what context it's used in and all that. Right. Phil Hawkins is here as well. Your wife's had a vaccine. Oh, that happened because I don't think I've mentioned enough that I'm an angel and I am volunteering once a week at a vaccine center. That's happened a few times. At my place. They've changed the rules recently in the UK in terms of AstraZeneca. So do you mean it was AstraZeneca and they wouldn't give it to her because she's under 40? Because they're giving Pfizer to under 40s and Moderna. But anyway, I'm sure it will get rebooked, my friend. Have I skipped your question? Sorry, Skywalker Sound. Can you copy? I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. Can you? If you did, you might just be joking. But if you did put in questions, copy and paste them back in now, and I will read them. I'll stay on for another couple of minutes. But if you're just joking, then fine. Simon D's been rewatching Breaking Bad, and I was reminded of your location video, Jamie. Yeah, I love Breaking Bad. I'm really looking forward to the final Better Call Saul series. I love Better Call Saul as its own thing. I think it's an amazing, series that can stand well apart from Breaking Bad and on its own 2 feet. But I'm now really also loving the fact it's more and more becoming Breaking Bad prequel, a direct link into the series. And I wonder, with how close it will take us into the Breaking Bad timeline, and also with the flash forwards, the black and white flash forwards of Jimmy. I'm I'm wondering if they will eventually become color and we'll see his kind of ultimate fate. Man, I love Breaking Bad. Anyway. Oh, yeah, we've still got beef. We've still got Wagyu beef. Yeah, I still don't know what's going on. And we're like 8 weeks away from the thing. So yes, still being stonewalled. And it's just me, just picking on little old me. I mean, it's at a stage where it's something's got to give soon. That wall's got to give. Self-interview. Yeah, could happen. My dream guest is Wamaris Watt, of course. Glenn, the geeky hippie, is fully vaxxed. Yeah, well, I'm glad it makes you. I mean, it does make you stronger. I'm glad, but also, it makes you think. You got to think. I feel like having the vaccine's got to give you a confidence boost as well. As well as actually giving you the boost, the important boost. I think you still need that placebo feeling as well, and it does have that. It does have that effect on you. I've never been particularly frightened of COVID. I've been more frightened of catching it and passing it on to vulnerable people. Like my mum, who's elderly and what have you. I've never been scared of it in terms of what it might do to me, although I don't want it, obviously. The long COVID thing, it seems horrendous. I've followed the rules to the book. But even though I didn't have that fear when I had the first jab, I also had that kind of feeling of being invincible, which I know we're not invincible, they're not 100%, but they are pretty darn good and they work. Look at Israel. Don't look at Israel at the moment. Maybe. It's not good. But from a COVID point of view, look at Israel and look at the UK. Look at the death rates. Cases are going up, but we need to, once we've reached a level of vaccination, we need to stop obsessing about cases if it's not converting into hospitalizations and deaths, because COVID ain't going to go away. But if people stop getting seriously ill and dying, that's a win. The vaccines work. Anyway, that's a ramble. Yeah. I'm 6 foot. Yeah. No, I'm not 6'5". I'm 6'2", I think. Basketball. It does exist. I mean, there are people that love it. And I think there is like a league, like a domestic league, but it's not big, it's not like football. But yeah, congrats on the vax to Glenn and also Anders. I think when we did the stream on Monday for the Bad Batch, you said that you were going for your second dose. Crosby. So what have you been up to recently, Jamie? Crosby's been doing the usual things, researching, etc. I hope you found some interesting nuggets of information, Crosby. I've been really busy recently, last couple of weeks, all sorts happening at once. But I've not been doing much researching for Star Wars because I've got loads of interviews already pre-recorded, so I'm having a bit of a break from that. But soon I'll need to get another batch done. I try and record sort of 5 or 6 in one sort of period of time, so I never have to worry that I'm about to run out. So probably come June, July, I'll need to work on the next batch, the good batch of interviews. Yeah, I had AstraZeneca. I felt a bit rough the next day, but it's fine. I think the media, and I've worked in the media and I understand how it works, and I realize negative headlines get more clicks than positive headlines. People don't report on planes landing safely, do they? But I have to agree, like there was a tweet from, I think it was CNN, and it was, okay, I'm paraphrasing it, but it was something like, in a study following 5 million Americans that had been vaccinated, something like 5,000 people still caught COVID. And that was something along the lines of the headline. The headline was, out of 5 million vaccinated Americans, 5,000 still catch COVID. And it's like, hang on, what about the 4 million plus that didn't? That should be the headline. 90-something% didn't catch COVID, i.e. they work. And out of the 5,000, none went to hospital, none died. So why the negative headline? I mean, it can be the way you read it, of course, but still. There's been a lot of that with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Anyway, this is not a vaccine stream. FKR in the Netherlands. We might have that return to Ray, Poe, and Finn. No, I've got a few friends in Holland, and they're saying it's getting a bit better, getting a bit faster. So hopefully you won't have too much longer. Right, Jane wants me to wrap up because she wants to go and check out this Bucketheads thing, which Anders highlighted. Yeah, I'm going to watch that over the weekend. Right, I will wrap up. But first of all, I will answer this from Simon D. Did you ever try to interview Wedge, Dennis Lawson? No, and there's a Ewan McGregor connection. He's Ewan's uncle, isn't he? I didn't. I never tried because I've always heard that he's a bit anti-Star Wars or a bit grumpy towards Star Wars and wasn't doing many conventions. So he was never at a convention I was at anyway, which was where I used to do most of the interviews before obviously Skype, Zoom and FaceTime took over for pandemic-y reasons. So I sort of never went out my way to try. But I have to say, he does seem to be showing up in more recent times, pre-pandemic, showing up at more conventions and was doing a few other interviews for things and was asked about Star Wars and freely spoke about it, not in a grumpy way. So actually, I think maybe he's a bit more, and obviously he showed up, didn't he, in The Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, actually it's something I'd love to, it's high up on the list. And I feel like I'm running out of original trilogy actors now. So I will try again. I will add him back to the list because I think he's off it at the moment. He didn't make the list. He did make the original list. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, have they never worked together on screen? Ewan McGregor and Uncle Wedge, Uncle Dennis. Because that could be possible. From a Star Wars point of view, it makes sense, doesn't it? But no, Wedge, they'd have to de-age him, wouldn't they? Which they could, but would they go through that kind of spending that much time and money on Wedge? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. That's an interesting one, though. Biggs, yeah, Garrett Hogan. Garrett Hogan is, I noticed, recently active online. Didn't know that. So he is actually on the list. And I would probably wait a while because I think he's London-based. So I would like to do it in person if he was up for it. I didn't just start doing the online interviews, on Skype or whatever, because of the pandemic. I was still doing some online before, with people that I couldn't meet. Maybe they're in the States or somewhere else around the world. But obviously now it's fully online, and it's very, doing interviews in person are better. It's obvious, but they really are better. You get more out of it. So I will try, but I'm going to hold off for a little bit because, like I was saying earlier, I think by later in the summer, allegedly in the UK on June 21st, we're going to be like completely back to normal. No social distancing rules, masks, anything like that. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be such a mad rush. But I feel like by late summer, we will hopefully be in a good place here in the UK. So I would rather do that in person. So yeah, I'm going to try it, my friend. Stanley has just subbed. Thank you. Do you know what, Stanley? I feel like you're the first person that's ever subbed one of my live streams, because I lose subscribers from the live streams. I don't blame them. I mean, usually there's someone that hits the dislike button before I've even started. Again, I don't blame them. So I feel like you might be, because usually I've tried not to look at my subscriber count anymore, but when I come off a live stream and I've checked in the past, dips. So I feel like you might be the first that subbed off the back of the stream. Thank you, Stanley. And like I said earlier, it's not just a streaming channel with loads of original, edited content and all sorts. When you do him, bring a video question from Alex Damon. Yeah, Alex loves bigs, doesn't he? Well, Alex, maybe you can ask Alex a question yourself, Glenn, on this channel very soon. That's all I'll say. Okay. Yeah, smash the like button, everybody. Oh, it starts, and so it begins. At least I've broken even. I've broken even at least on this one. Saying I don't know how many I've lost from this one. Yeah, Frogger. Chad mentioned, Chad asked me to try for Andrew as well recently. And he was active on the prequel circuit, on the convention circuit, and is also UK based. I don't know where in the UK, but yeah, I would like to do that, and I will try to do that. Okay, it's very prequel heavy at the moment, what I've got in the can. The last one was a prequel. The next one's going to be a prequel. I have a really cool prequel one that I'm going to save till later in the summer. But I'm going to tell you an exclusive now. The next one's prequel. The one after that's Mandalorian. I need an original. So Biggs, man. Biggs and Wedge. It's Chewy. It's Chewy Stanley. I don't know if you saw my old hair. I've just had a haircut recently, but I, for a long, long time, modeled my appearance on that Wookiee. I am a genuine, not just for jokey hair reasons, I genuinely love Chewie. He is my favorite character and always has been. Who's yours, Stanley? Glenn's is R2. Yeah, that's a really good shout, Simon. That is a very, very good shout. And when they do conventions, you pretty much know that if you can reach them, if you can ask them the question of, will you do this? That you're probably going to get a yes when they're on that circuit. The ones that don't want to be on that circuit, you kind of know don't want the fuss. Stanley's is Boba Fett. David subbed with 2 accounts. Thank you very much. Phil, go sub, man. Go sub with all your accounts. And also, if you're into Doctor Who, and also Phil does some MCU stuff and Red Dwarf as well. Go and check out Phil's channel. He does a Red Dwarf podcast, which I might be showing up on. Well, it will be. We recorded it, Phil. I hope I haven't jumped the gun there with that revelation. Akbar's a wonderful character. I'm very proud. Do you know what? One of the interviews, I'm going to have to go. Because this battery is about to die. I'm still, by the way, working on battery power. I still can't plug things in the shed. But I am not going to be here for much longer, so there's no point in investing. Anyway, I'm so proud of Eric Bowsfeld, the interview of Eric Bowsfeld, the voice of Admiral Akbar, because he hadn't done many interviews, like Star Wars related ones. Like I think there's 2 online. One's me, one's someone else, and an inferior one, obviously. And yeah, he passed away not too long afterwards. And that kind of, when I do these interviews, especially with the older guys, and they don't get big views, I just always remember that this, some of these people didn't have a platform to tell their story, and in some cases, this is the only online record of them telling their story, and may not have the views, but somebody's going to find that and find value from it. It might not be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, but somebody. So I feel like they're important sort of historical documentaries in a way, some of these interviews, because with the older guys, who play smaller characters, they were, in their prime before there were a million Star Wars podcasts and YouTube channels and what have you, so they weren't. Now, they get asked when they're at conventions, but then a lot of them aren't at conventions. A lot of them aren't on social media, like Eric wasn't. They are harder to get hold of, and they're dying, So I think it's really important to get these people while we can. Anyway, Thank you, everybody. There we go. Random sub from Random Phil with his random Burgess Hill Theatre Club. Right, everybody. Thank you very much. If there's anything I've missed, I'm very sorry. Leave it in the comments. I think when the stream ends, it will become a video, so you can leave a comment and I will see it in the future. And I will be back on Monday with the Bad Batch, the chat batch. Looking at episode 3. So I hope you enjoy the Bad Batch that drops tomorrow if you're watching it. And if not, I will see you next Thursday. This stream will, of course, carry on every Thursday with the Geeknd Live. Longest one ever. All right, I'm going. Okay, it's that time again. You hang up. No, you hang up. Okay, I'll hang up. Bye, everyone.